So hey, anyone watching? I'm Jake. This is Dave. We're going to walk you through ordering your Fantom Comics book through ComicHub, which is our innovative, futuristic way to order comics online. We know that all of you guys are doing mail order now. Ordering things online is really confusing with quarantine the way it is, and laws changing every day. So we know a lot of people have sort of put off learning how to do ComicHub because it can seem a little confusing. It's a pretty expansive website for ordering upcoming comics and old comics. And yeah, I mean, we thought it would be worth it to show people how we do it.
Yeah, thanks.
And yeah, and I guess feel free to join and ask questions along the way if people are in the little Facebook chat.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the chats, and I guess, Jake, we're only seeing one of us at one time. My gallery view isn't working, but welcome everyone. I'm Dave. You've met Jake already. We're going to talk through all the ways that you can order from us on our websites, both fantomcomics.com, which resolves now to stores.comichub.com/fantom_comics up here at the top, and I'll use my annotation tools to try and draw that. Let's see how that works right there. Wanted to do a different color and width. Now I could do clear all drawings. It's up here. Yeah, that's what we want. So stores.comic, but you could just type fantomcomics.com like you always have, and it'll bring you here to the Fantom Comics website. And that looks like this up at the top, and we're looking at this part down below. We also have the other website, which is customer.comichub.com. And both sites you can log in with your ComicHub login for Fantom Comics. And we're going to teach you how to use both of these sites today, starting with, yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, and if you don't remember, I know for me, I just logged in with my Facebook. I think you can connect with your Facebook or your Google account.
Yep, those are options.
So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm already logged in at the fantomcomics.com site. I'm on the home page, and you get a little welcome menu on the bottom. There's a menu across the top that you'll see at the top. What I want to show here at the top first, and if I could get rid of my annotation screen, but now I can't annotate, of course, is the first thing across the very top is the search button. And if you know what you're looking for, you can always just forget everything else, come to the search and type in a book that you're interested in. So let's type in Watchmen. You hit the enter key, and that book that you're searching for should come up down below. So you can use that if you know what you want and you want to see if we have it. This website will only show you what we currently have available in stock for the most part. If it comes up with a different search, so I'm going to type in something like Space Battle and see if that comes up, and the answer is no record found. If you find that means we don't have it in stock. And what you can do is come over here to the contact page, click the contact, and there's a form at the bottom here where you could type in your name and your information and ask us, can you order this book for me? And we will respond back to you via email to let you know whether it's something that we can order and work with you to get yourself set up so that we can order and either have you pick up a book or mail something to you. So that's the search product. Another person came in yesterday over email and asked, do you have certain Daredevil, any Daredevil? Oh, I didn't spell it right, so I'll spell it right. And typing in Daredevil brings you back all 6 items that we have for Daredevil. This one is a comic, number 12. The rest are graphic novels. They were looking for anything by Bendis, so I pointed them to this one. We didn't have anything else of the art creators that he was interested in, but they're all available for us to order for customers. You could then, when you do a search like that, sorry, go ahead, Jake.
I was saying it seems pretty self-explanatory so far.
Kind of is.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, but I think people miss the search button up at the top pretty easily. Just kind of
and the thing to keep in mind also is that this search is only going to bring up exact matches for what the words are.
Yeah, you got to
it's not advanced enough like some other search engines where to suggest semi-related books. So you've got to, and especially with a lot of superhero stuff, the names can be really finicky, like, oh, Spider-Man, did they put the hyphen in Spider and Man? So yeah, I think sometimes if you're having trouble finding what you're looking for, just make sure you get the title right. Or, I mean, the other way is find it through using our filters, which we'll get to a bit later.
Yeah, and I forgot to say that this website is really for shopping for what we have in stock at the moment. So, you know, if it's in the store, you can browse it here just like you're in the store, not just like you're in the store, but close enough. And, you know, ultimately you can put it into a shopping cart and pay for it, and we'll show you how to do that in a bit. First, we're going to talk through the top menu, starting with the Coming Soon option. So clicking on Coming Soon will show you what's going to be coming out on the next coming Wednesday. So, you know, everything on this list is, you know, you can't really do anything other than browse it. If you're interested in actually ordering it, you have to flip over to our pre-order site at customer.comichub.com over here, but this at least gives you a way to see what's coming. And you can click into any coming soon item and then view the detailed page, and it'll tell you coming soon. If you want to take any action, go to the other site. So that's coming soon. And you can use these letter tabs to jump down. Let's say you're interested to see if something that starts with a K is coming out, and the answer is no, nothing with a K is coming out next week. How about the M's? Yeah, you can see Black Panther and Mitchum.
And with superhero stuff, it's important to remember that it's like the actual first letter it starts with. So like, Amazing Spider-Man, would that be under A for Amazing, not S for Spider-Man, or would it be under Z for The Amazing Spider-Man?
No, I'm pretty sure it would be under S for Spider-Man, and you know, Double Trouble shows up as under Spider-Man. That looks like the only Spider-Man book this week. I don't think we have any Amazing, but The Amazing Mary Jane shows up under A for Amazing.
Yeah.
Kind of related to Spider-Man, but
yeah,
Spider-Man not in the title, so they went with Amazing. You could also click the All button if you need to get everything on one page. Down here at the bottom, you'll be asked to load more. Just because there's so many comic books, they don't want to load all of it onto one page at one time. Moving ahead to new releases. This page tells us what just came out this past Wednesday. So some books, you know, I put some books behind me of what came out this past week. Twisted Visions just came out. It's available in stock. This is the one page where the things that come out that we don't have in stock will show up on the website with a please inquire. And if you click on the please inquire, you're again able to view the details and click a contact us button to get the ability to send us a message with your email, a subject, and a message saying, you know, can you get this book for me? And we will check to see whether we can get it and let you know.
Yeah.
So going back to new releases, recent releases shows us everything that is released roughly in the last 4 months. Due to the shutdown of comic book distribution over the last month and a half to 2 months, things are pretty out of whack. So we see some things that came out probably several weeks before the last month here, but over the next several weeks that will iron itself out, and you'll see.
And everything that's showing up here is stuff. Everything that's appearing right here is stuff that we do have in the store right now, if it says in stock.
Correct. It'll all say in stock on this page. You'll also notice things on that. Some things will be marked as sale item, which means that it's discounted, and we'll talk about that in a second. All products is just another way to look at everything we have in stock. You know, we have some support items, we have some gift cards, and we have some mystery packs that appear at the top if you want to try your hand at a mystery pack. And then below that, you'll see alphabetically all the different products that we have in stock at the moment.
For single issue comics, would any back issues be listed right here?
Yes, they would all be, you know, listed here on this page if it's in stock. Yeah. And then sale items is a page where you can see everything that we currently have on sale. Right now we have 346 different items on sale, which is pretty much all of our kids books and most of our, if not all of our hardcovers that were out prior to the last couple of weeks are on sale here right now.
And then you can you can further filter with the options on the left, right?
Well, you can, but you can't quite mix the sale items. You can't filter down the sale items any further than this. You can kind of everything on this top menu kind of has the letter version of things, and then you can quickly kind of go through these little letter divisions, if that helps, which it doesn't really help too much. So that's, not ideal. And, if you can't find what you're looking for or don't feel like paging through 350 some items, we do have two other ways of searching, which is the category section right here and the search options section down here. So if you know what category you're looking for, let's say you're interested in graphic novels, you'd click on the graphic novels, and everything on that sidebar gets you to an advanced filter option, which when you see that advanced filter, the recommendation is you should click that advanced filter, and it gives you better ways to further filter down within that selection. So I can now, say, okay, I picked graphic novels. I can go to brand and say I want everything with Batman, Batgirl, and Batwoman, and click go, and it will filter. And an important thing to know is all these things on the left are really filters. They're not searches so much as they're ways to filter down the full catalog or collection of product that we have into something a bit more manageable. So now you can see all of the Batman books that we currently have in stock on this page, and it goes on a bit further because Batman's a pretty popular category. So it's a pretty good one to browse through. I could then also pick over here on writers and say, I'm interested in particular writers that have written Batman. Can I filter down on that? There might be some better ways to filter on writers than this, but publishers doesn't help because obviously all the Batman stuff is DC Comics.
That goes deep, that you can filter by colorist.
Colorist, yeah, impressive, right?
I want to know who's searching with that filter.
Yep. Yes. Curious. I could also do the Batman search. I've just cleared Batman, and I'm not sure that it quite cleared it. I have to go to brands and then clear, and that'll bring me back to everything. I could have gone to brands.
Real quick,
Yeah.
a small tangent, but I'm sure people watching probably are wondering, what are the mystery packs?
Yeah, mystery packs. Let's click into one of mystery packs. There's a mystery sci-fi genre pack. So the idea is that if you want to us to surprise you, the cost is $35, and we'll send you a mystery pack of 3 items where we pick the items from what we have in stock and send it to you or hold it for you to pick up. So
it seems like a great gift item, especially for friends where you're not quite, that they like sci-fi, but you don't really know what to get them. This sounds like the perfect thing.
That's right. That or gift cards if you're if they'd like to come in to shop. So that's mystery packs. Wanted to go back to brands down here. So this search or filter really, I could have done the Batman and the Batgirl here. Batgirl automatically brings that search up and is kind of a more limited search at that point. So you just have to kind of play with what makes sense in terms of how you want to search. So like, let's say I'm interested in particular writers. I'm a big fan of Ed Brubaker. So I click on Ed Brubaker, and I would get to see all the things that we have in stock that were written by Ed Brubaker. Jake, you have any favorites that you want to
man, you mean my favorite Ed Brubaker?
What's that?
My favorite Ed Brubaker.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a lot. I don't know. Criminal is the first thing I ever read by Ed Brubaker. I really like when you get those writer and artist teams that do multiple series together, so they really collaborate super well. They're got to be one of the best duos in comics.
Yep, that's right. So, if you're a Scott Snyder fan, click on that, and you'll see all the things that were written by Scott Snyder. So that's helpful. Before we move on, I wanted to just, walk through the adding it to the cart. So, when you click on the item, the next thing you're asked to do is add it to your cart. Typically, you'd probably be buying quantity of 1. I don't know what would happen if we didn't have more than 1 and you tried to add more than 1, but try to stick 1 at a time. And then once you've added it, you can go to the cart. Note you're going to have to be logged in up here at the top in order to be able to get something into the carts, which means you need to have an account or create an account and be logged into our system here. And once you have it here, you have options. You could pick it up from our store. We're currently available Monday through Friday, 11 to 6 p.m., 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. We could ship it via media mail, or you can, if you want after hours pickup after 6 p.m., you could select Tiki Taco pickup as long as it's submitted to us by 6 p.m. on Tuesday through Friday. And in order to make that work, we had to charge everybody 1 cent to make it work.
And Tiki Taco is the Hawaiian taco place in the basement of the building that Fantom is in.
That's right.
They're also just an excellent establishment with good food.
Yep, excellent food. Yes.
And how much is media mail usually?
What's that?
How much is media mail usually?
Media mail is kind of roughly in the $3 range for a reasonable package of something like 5 books, 5 comic books. For a graphic novel, it might be something like two books would get you a regular $3-ish charge like that. And then I also want to
media mail is usually pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty good. Yeah, we say 2 to 8 days, but it tends to get there a bit, on the lower side of that. Tiki Taco, if you do choose this option, they will give you a coupon. The coupon they're offering is a free taco if you buy a taco trio. So that's happening, since we created this partnership over the last couple of weeks with them. And then once you pick your shipping option, you can, click the review order button at the bottom, and that'll bring you to a checkout page where if you had a coupon code that you were given, you can put that in. There's some gift card options that you might need to coordinate with us on. And then basically you have options to pay with a credit card, which is technically through Square, although you don't really need to know that, or through PayPal if that's your preference. PayPal, it's a little, PayPal makes that go away and you just proceed to pay through PayPal via your PayPal login.
Real quick question about Tiki Taco pickup. That is for people that want to pick up their books in person after the store is closed at 6 p.m. Do people have to have placed their orders before 6 p.m. for the orders to get down to Tiki Taco?
For that night, yes. So
okay.
If you don't place the order by 6 p.m., it would, we could hold it for the next night's after hours pickup, or you could come to get it in the store, depending on what makes sense. So, we're always available at Fantom HQ at fantomcomics.com via email or by phone to just work out whatever arrangements need to be made. So that's
and we really are just a few people answering all these emails and interacting with ComicHub. So really anything you have questions about, we'll get back to you, and we're pretty flexible with helping people figure out their various mailing and comic situations, because we know that everyone's kind of in weird situations in their lives right now.
Yeah. So that is pretty much everything on the fantomcomics.com website. We talked about, there's a couple other features, like if you want to see our upcoming events, that is hiding over here on the right-hand side, and we list our events on our website as well as on all of our social media channels. So you could follow us on any of those to see what we're up to.
And we're doing a lot of virtual events right now. Even though obviously we can't do in-store events, we're still trying to keep up with doing ones online if you guys want to hang out.
Yep. And then, looking at these sections over here, some information about Fantom Comics you can learn here. There's another link to upcoming events, terms and conditions, and then, information about setting up an account. In the about page is how we do our mail order service, which has a link to our Moon Clerk sign up, which is basically you put a credit card on file so that we can, charge your comics as they come in and ship them out to you. So that's the whole website here. That's for, again, ordering what we have in stock. The other website we're going to talk about on the right is about pre-ordering. So I'm going to switch over here now, and I'm going to clear my drawings. And
just to be clear, what we were talking about before is all for comics that are currently available to see what we have in store if you want to buy something that's already out. And now what we're going to be talking about is ordering upcoming comics. And I think in particular, all the weird nuances of subscribing to single issue comics.
Right. So subscribing or pre-ordering comic books is one of these things that is, if you've been doing it for a long time, you completely understand it. If you've never done it, it's, perhaps a strange thing, but there's a fair amount of complexity to figuring out what publishers are going to be releasing and basically they're, printing to order. So, it's always in our best interest for folks to tell us what they want. So us and all the other comic book stores can tell the publishers what we want, so they know how many to print, because they're probably not going to print too many more than what comic book stores order. So, that's the reason why pre-ordering products exist. What I want to show here is that there's really, there's a search bar up at the top, and then there's basically two different, and Jake, you can tell me if this is coming through because I'm right on the annotation. There's a
Yeah.
pre-order product page, which is what we're looking at here. That's where you
Yeah.
land when you first log in, and it comes with its own pre-order cart. And you have to, to pre-order, you have to add things to your cart and then check out. And then we also have an order history page that comes with its own cart. So that allows you to pay for things that are being held in the store for you. So those two things kind of go together. And then over here on the right, you'll see some, can't see it, some alerts. And I guess I need to move Jake out of the way. All of your alerts, when we send you like an alert that the new week of books are here, that information is always shared with you in alert. You'll also get an email when the books arrive. Other alerts.
Also,
yeah, go ahead.
And I know for some longer term subscribers, like some of the people that were subscribers with us when we first switched to ComicHub, and you're used to using that really wonky app that I think most people do not use anymore. It can be a little bit jarring at first to use this website version of it, but for the most part, I think it's a little bit easier to navigate than the old app was. But if you're a subscriber who did stuff on the app, all that stuff should be successfully equally available here on this browser website.
Yeah, that's correct. And the app is kind of in the shop for repairs right now. So just, getting the word out on that, it still works if you have it and you're logged into it. But if you, there's some risk that orders aren't going to transmit as well. And if you log out, you probably won't be able to log back in on that app. So be aware. This website also works on mobile devices. It's a little hard to cram all this information onto a small screen, but it's the same functionality that you see here would work on a website just by bringing up a browser.
Yeah, and I know that it can be frustrating that like the app is down for maintenance. It seems like something that you wouldn't have on an app, but like keep in mind if you're enough into comics that you're, at Fantom Comics ordering comics, that comics are a pretty niche thing, and this app is just done by, was created by a comic book store owner and is just used by, there's only a few thousand comic book stores in the country. So this is all, for comic book store standards, this is all pretty cool stuff. And comics as an industry are super overwrought and complicated. And I feel like ComicHub does a pretty good job of navigating the weird nuances of how direct market single issue comics work.
Yep. A couple other types of alerts that you might find up here. When I place a pre-order, it calls that an app order. I recently added this particular comic to my list. So, that's recorded here. So you can just check to make sure that it got received. And then another type is when I am in the store buying something, or even when I'm buying something over the internet, I'll get a receipt that shows up here as well. And then over here is a couple of other menu options. I'm going to just quickly show the My Account, which is our Fantom Club Rewards option here. You can see what points you've earned by virtue of transactions you've had in the past. The deal here is that for every $100 you spend, you get a $5 reward. And then, you see each transaction kind of building up, and then it subtracted out $100 and said, I've got a balance of 29 as I'm building towards my next $5 reward when I reach $100. And then in this other menu for the rewards, it shows you how your rewards have been used. So right now I have that $5 reward, which is active, and I've redeemed some other rewards, and it sort of shows you your reward history.
If you're an ongoing subscriber and you're just I live in New York now, I'm a mail order subscriber, and I get charged automatically. How do I use my rewards if I'm just getting charged automatically whenever the mail orders hit?
We should generally use your rewards in that scenario. Like, if you're earning rewards and, we're charging you based on that, we should look to see if you have a reward and just, reduce it from your total cost so that everything keeps flowing.
Yeah. Also, I mean, a big thing is for any of our subscribers who live in the DC area and are used to coming in person, like mail order is an option. We mail order to tons of people that are local, even before quarantine happened. So, it's super easy. We're really happy you don't have to live across the country to do mail order. Like you can mail order in DuPont Circle if you want.
I'm going to switch to the contact page, which is another contact form if you want to send us a message, or if you want to send the ComicHub folks a message because you're having some problem that kind of is outside of us, you can reach them through this bottom section. And lastly, if you don't like this video and would like some other help videos on how to use ComicHub, there are some certain things are top covered here that we'll also be covering in this session. So I'm going to go back to the pre-order product page. Again, if you know what you're looking for, you can always search for the product to see if you can find it on the website. But what we want to talk about now is the way that ComicHub is designed to kind of change the paradigm or change the way you think about how you keep track and place orders for comics. The traditional way is to do that on a monthly basis because it's like the old catalog model has continued on, where a catalog is published once a month and people are used to looking at that catalog and seeing what they're interested in and placing orders based on that catalog. But since comic book publishers are kind of doing the order to print model, it's really the print date that's the most important thing, and that is happening really on a weekly cycle where a smaller set of items are available for last call, I'll call it, because that's what it's called here. So last call from confirmed orders. So if you go to the home screen and you're going to want to make sure you clear your selections, which is a button down here, but scroll down for this. Let's see, I'll do the.
And real quick, I'm sure some people have questions about orders to print. Basically, when in normal circumstances, publishers they print slightly more comics than they print comics that are also intended for people to just walk in and buy off the rack rather than just subscribe to it. But now, with the way things are, publishers are really just they're only going to print as many as they know that they're going to sell. It makes it more important than ever to make sure that you get your orders in, because if you don't ask for it, they're not going to print it.
Yep. Okay, and I see that you're still stuck up in the corner, so I don't know. I hope you're not covering up any important buttons. But so look for this last call for confirmed orders. What this is, every Friday this goes up. It'll disappear and then it'll reappear on Friday, and it'll be there until Monday, which is the day where we have to get our orders in. So you kind of have until noon on Monday every week to look at this section and say, okay, it's my last chance to order these things. And if I do it this way, I never really need to rely on the catalog again and do this on a monthly basis. So when you're scrolling through here, and I'll get rid of the drawing, you'll see different carousels as the ComicHub folks refer to them. Each carousel is called a carousel because you have these buttons on the left. You can kind of click to the right or click back to the left, and it's got that carousel feel. The recommendation is that, better to not really bother with that and just go to the View All button whenever you see it. And, viewing all will get you the last call for confirmed orders onto one page where you can scroll through, everything on one page, or you can filter based on the publisher you're interested in, based on the category that you're interested in. If you're only interested in comics or graphic novels or manga, you can look by specific brands if you're interested in that. You can go by genre, and then again by artist or by writer over here on the right. And
also you can do this, it doesn't have to be single issue comics. You can do this if you like to read in the trade paperback volumes, or if you like manga and you want a manga series as the volumes are getting published in English. You can do that with these as well.
Yep. And what's nice about this, once you get these filter options available, let's say you're only interested in graphic novels and you want to see, you know, which writers have graphic novels that are coming out, you can quickly pull this up and say, okay, I can see who's got stuff. Do I see anybody that I'm really interested in for this week? You know, let's say I'm interested in John Layman. You know, what does he have this week? And the answer is nothing. So you can keep on moving on. And it's, you know, you're looking for ways to kind of find, you know, your favorites and not miss anything. I'm striking out on which ones we have available here, but let's go back and reset it. You know, same thing, you know, I could go to comics, I hit go, I can click on, you know, again, I'll try Al Ewing again, and he's got a couple things that are on their final order cutoff for this Monday. So last chance to order these items.
And for people who are less familiar with comics, usually about how far before the release dates are the final order cutoff?
It's usually like 3 weeks before the release date, I believe. There's a cycle, and you know, that's not true for each publisher. It's not true for each comic, but it's a rough approximation that that it's kind of 3 weeks ahead. So I'm going to reset that, and you know, once you find something that you're interested in, you know, adding to your cart, right? Let's say I'll pick this Ashen Thorn. While we're picking that, it's good to pay attention to the color codings on available to order. There's a green version of available to order, and then sometimes you'll see a yellow version. And then if you've already put it on order, you'll see a bright yellow on order banner underneath it to know you've already handled that one. So like, you know, I've already ordered cover A of Bang #5 because I'm subscribed to it, but I don't have cover B because, you know, cover Bs are not handled as subscriptions. So if I, for some reason, wanted cover B, I would have to add that to my cart. And let's say I was interested in adding this one. There's two options. I can add this to my cart, and you'll see my pre-order cart will now have a #1 on top of it. Or if I wanted to do it a little bit differently, let's find one that I want to play around with here. Let's say Bleed Them Dry is a new #1 that's coming out. I guess I can click here and get 3 different options. I could say I only want the one issue that I'm picking on. I could do a run of issues. I can order from #1 through #6, let's say, if I knew that I wanted to stop after 6 issues and I didn't want to commit beyond that. Or I could place it as an ongoing order, which means we will continue ordering that comic for you as long as publishers continue announcing that they're going to be printing that particular book. Jake, is that clear? Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think I mean, that's pretty simple. And that's something that was like so difficult to figure out for the longest time before this current ComicHub website, was if you want to order just, you know, if you like Nightwing and it's doing a crossover with the main Batman book that you want, and you just want that one issue that ties into the event you want rather than the whole ongoing series, you can do a single order for a comic. Or if it's like a crossover and you know there'll be 3 issues of it, you just do that selected issue 1 to whatever. Is there any way to do, if you wanted, like, I want issues 17 through 19, to do like a specific run it's not #1?
It doesn't look like it. Like, I think you'd have to have number 17 showing up here and say, okay, now I want to pick it up from 17 to 19. Or, okay, you know, there would have to be, you know, the 17 is not even in the database yet, so it would be premature to try and do anything with that. So, you know, it's from the point that you're looking at forward. You can basically set an end date or an end issue for a run, or you can make it ongoing or make it single. I wanted to say that there's one more way. You can go into the detail page, and you know, when you add it to cart there, you'll get that same pop-up of single, order from #1, forward, or ongoing order. So those options are available.
It's comics only $1.
Yeah, it's only $1.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay, so if it's available to order, it's available to order. And that's why the weekly cycle is probably the best way to handle this system. But if you're a traditionalist and you don't want to, you know, try and do this weekly, there is a way to do it monthly by clicking this latest items button. So you click the latest, you clear your selection, click that latest items button, which equates to the most recent catalog, which, right now catalogs are in a little bit of a funny place. So I'm not sure what I'm going to get when I click that, but.
And if you know comics, the comic book release dates get pushed back all the time. So it's definitely worth like keeping on top of when those books are coming out if there's a specific one you're looking for.
Yep. So, and I could further say, okay, I want the latest items, but I'm only interested in the new #1. So, I'm only interested in starting a new series. I'm not really looking to jump into the middle of something. So I can click that checkbox and then hit go. And what this ends up as being is the current search will appear at the top of your pre-order page here. So current search, and you end up with a carousel, and you can click through the carousel and use all the buttons as you like from there, or you can click the view all button to get the the deeper view of those items onto one page and have the additional filters available to kind of boil it down a little tighter depending on what your interests are. At any point as you boil things down, you can also save a playlist. Maybe you can't. I'm kind of wondering where to do that. Well, we'll go into playlists in a little bit. And it's all kind of the same filtering concept again and again throughout this site. Once you've added things to your cart, you're going to want to go to the pre-order cart and check out. Let me do a couple other things. Variants, incentive variants, and open order variants are hidden by default. If you want to see them, you have to click these checkboxes. So open order means, we can order it for you because there's no limit. There's no minimum order quantity in order to be able to get that book. If it's an incentive variant, it means like we have to order, let's say 50 or 100 of a copy of a book, and if we're going to even get one copy. So if you click those and you hit go, those will start to appear, and you'll see more items showing up in your list. And then you also you can filter over here as well, or in the ways that we've already talked about. I'm going to probably skip playlists for now and jump to the pre-order cart and talk about the idea that you have to submit the order to us. It's pretty simple. Just go to the pre-order cart and click place order to Fantom Comics, and then we will get that order and confirm it. And once we confirm it, you'll see it up here in your alerts at the top side of the menu bar.
But if it's a future thing coming out with, what do you charge us at the time that we order, or do you charge us when it comes in?
We charge at the time to clear these selections. We charge at the time that books come in. So we'll order it for you based on whatever you tell us through this website. But when the books come in is when we look to charge, and we'll be looking to make those transactions happen pretty much on a regular basis as books come in for you. So last thing I want to show is going back to the home screen after clearing my selections. Actually, there's a couple things we can show here. Current search, I have to clear my selections again. Oh, good. Sorry, I still have all these things checked. Oh, there's the save playlist button popped up, Jake. So remember that. I think
because the save playlist, that's like if you know there's specific filters that you like to put on, doesn't it it's like presets for the filters?
Yeah, I'll demo it really quickly here in a sec. Trying to get back to a clean homepage. So I cleared it successfully, so there's no current search at the top. We have this section, Fantom Comics Recommended, which we kind of have mismanaged a bit. These are some emails that we sent. We put a whole bunch of everything into people's Fantom Comics Recommended. So we haven't really officially recommended these to specific people, and it's going to be a while before we can probably get rid of this section for everyone. But you can dismiss these books one at a time. It will take you a while. I've done it once and they've come back, so I'm not really sure.
So does Fantom have any plans to start actually recommending books through this mechanism?
I think we would like to, but right now this section is kind of overloaded with, if I click view all of what we've currently recommended, you'll see it's many pages of stuff. here I am at the L's before I get to load more. So it's really from, I think, 1 month's catalog where we made some recommendations. And depending on whether you got the email and we added it to your recommended page. But we'd like to do better in using this so that we can make more targeted recommendations to individual people. We do send mass emails each week telling you what's on FOC on Fridays. And if anybody is not getting those but would like to get those, feel free to send us an email and we can enroll you in those email programs, which makes it a little easier to know what's on final order each Monday. We send those on Friday, and again, it's following the same cycle as the. Let me go back to the home page as the last call for confirmed orders section. I wanted to show. We also have. There's a publisher recommended section that may show up if we push certain publisher items to you, like this one, Royal City, is on FOC this coming Monday. It's the full hardcover collected edition of this book.
That's a great book, by the way. If you like sad Rust Belt town, Jeff Lemire, people have daddy issues kind of stuff, it's good.
So it's available to order. This one is, orange available to order, so I'm not really sure what's happening with that book. But the cool thing about when it's publisher recommended, they provide preview pages, and you can click on this button and kind of scroll through the inside of the book to see what the different pages look like to help you get a sense as to whether it's a book that you're interested in.
And do most publishers put up preview pages like this for their books?
Right now, it's been limited primarily to Image. Boom has done a few, and I feel like Dynamite has done some. I'm not certain of that. But
yeah, ComicHub is a digital platform that I think publishers are just now starting to really figure out is going to be a big part of the future of comic book stores. So it's been interesting seeing like publisher by publisher which ones are leaning into it more.
Yeah, and that there was a brief plan for ComicHub to make issues available digitally during the shutdown when Diamond shut down, where they were going to kind of encourage all publishers to basically use this platform to make copies available and then fulfill physical copies later on once things opened back up. But that plan was quickly dashed. So that's the previews. And then last call for confirmed orders. There's another section here that pops up every Wednesday when we get our invoice and load it into our system. This will tell you what's happening next Wednesday. So if you're the type of person who isn't a catalog shopper and isn't going to look at the last call for final orders on a weekly basis, but prefers to wait until things come out, this is your last chance to claim a book before it hits the rack. That's why these are orange available to order. So they're past their final order cutoff date, but you can order them. We can't guarantee that you'll get a copy. If it were a green, we would guarantee that you get a copy.
Yeah, if it's orange, it means that we've already set the store has already set how many it's going to order. So whether we can fill your order or not just depends on how many extra copies we ordered.
Right.
So, and it's like, and because of that, it means you're more likely to be able to get this on more popular series that like we as a store are probably going to order more of anyway. If you want more obscure stuff that like you might be the only person at Fantom Comics reading this series, you need to be a lot more on top of ordering that stuff because some of these books we're not going to order on our own if no one orders them.
Correct. That's right. And again, all the buttons are kind of the same. You can view all. You can add books as you see them. This one I have on order, etc. And then the last carousel down here at the bottom is really the playlist carousel where basically you can create a saved playlist. So, if you create a search or a filter really that makes sense to you to make this easier. So let's say you have a bunch of favorite writers, you can save that that filter as a playlist, and then whenever you want, you can just click on that button, come straight to the bottom, click on that button and see, oh, here's the writers that I'm interested in. And, I guess, I don't know, here's a Fantom Comics recommended pops up on this page for this particular writer.
So this is really useful for people if there's like a specific writer you like to see all their stuff coming out, but also for superhero fans, if you like Batgirl and you want to make sure that you're on top of all the Batgirl stuff coming out,
Oh,
and saving a playlist
here's
like this.
one that I must order, which is Cruel Summer.
Hey.
So that's now in my cart because I just heard that that was recently announced. And yeah, so favorite artists, favorite writers. It's a good way to find that stuff quickly.
And also, sometimes people I think are confused when you see old books mixed in with the new books here. But the old books are usually like those are usually reprints of old stuff that are coming out.
Right.
They're new editions of older
So
series.
another chance to order this thing. Like this is this Incorruptible was a book from years ago that was pretty popular. Haven't seen it in a while, and now we're getting an omnibus collection of it. So if you're interested in checking that out, it's here and you can pre-order it. Notice that as I clicked on this, it showed me what I was, built into my playlist was the fact that I wanted latest items, new number ones by a collection of 36 writers. So I can then click on this and see, well, which writers did I have in here, and I can somehow make changes and then save my playlist to update it if I wanted to. So now you can see all the writers that I had selected from Once Upon a Time.
Are these actually your 36 favorite comic book writers?
Well, they were at a point in time. The trouble is it's hard to keep up as new people come out. There's all these other names below, and to go through here and add more names each month. It's a bit of a slog. So
That's a lot of people to sift through.
I might add Gerard Way, right? Like I might say, hey, I need Gerard Way.
But then look, next to Gerard Way was Gerald Way, and that must just be because when they solicited one of his comics that his name was misspelled in it.
Right, could be, or there could be a Gerald Way. We don't know.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe so.
So now
that's a pretty impressive database of stuff.
I made that one change, and now now I can save the playlist. But
you can give the playlist an image too. I think that's what that is, right?
It's asking me for a new name, and let's see if it allows me to. Playlist already exists, so hopefully it overwrote that playlist. I can't say for sure. So going back to the home screen, I've tried to do this for trying to do it in the previews way. I have the big four comics, which is picking publishers: DC, Marvel, Image, and Dark Horse. So they're the four publishers here, and new number ones. And for some reason, it doesn't say latest items, but it probably should. So that's a playlist for that.
Latest items just organized books by the newest ones out.
Well, latest items was meant to be the current catalog only. I think I'm giving up on the catalog model, but if I click latest items, it would shrink this down to only the things that are in the most current catalog, whatever that is, right?
And as you guys can imagine, ComicHub is constantly changing bit by bit. This is the growing pains of comics figuring out how to survive in the 2020s.
All right. Is there anything else that I'm missing on this? All the ways you can filter and search.
For future comics, for subscribing to future comics, things coming up.
You can also click.
What happens if you order something and then that's coming out in 3 months, and then you decide, oh wait, I don't want this anymore? Is there a way to cancel a pre-order?
Yes, let's get to that in a second. I just wanted to show you that the manage playlists shows your place. You click on each one to see what it is. I'm not sure what else you could do from here, but it at least tells you what makes up each playlist. Okay, so I'm going to clear everything. I think I've covered this page. So that's pre-order cart covered. The next thing we need to talk about is the order history, which some folks are making noise that we should change this wording from order history to, my comics or something like that. But this is stuff that relates to you, and there are only 3 carousels on this page. The first one is called aside items, and that's basically what we've received in the store and held aside for you. So, over here are our. Well, you can't see me because you can only see Jake, I guess.
So if you're one of the people that we hassle you all the time that you haven't come in for your comics yet, that's what the aside is. Those are the comics that we have currently physically at the store, right there in those files behind Dave.
So yeah, if you're wondering what's waiting for you at Fantom Comics, you can always come to customer.comichub.com, log into your account, and click that order history button, and whatever we've got in the folder is what's going to show up right here. What you can do from here is add all those items to your cart and pay for them, and then we have to have a conversation about, the system kind of assumes that you're going to pick it up in the store. If you want to be set up as a mail order customer, don't use this. We'll work with you to come up with a better way.
If you want to be a new mail order customer, just email us fantomhq@fantomcomics.com.
Yep. If I want to pay, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate this. I can click add all items to my cart. I could have done that under each one individually. Let's see.
Do I have to pay ahead of time, or can I still come into the store physically and pay for it at the store?
I mean, right now we're trying to minimize the amount of physical in-store payments that are happening. So, we're enabling as many online contactless payments as we can possibly enable. And we have a few, but they all come with their little wrinkles. So, what we have, I've now added all these items, and my little cart button disappears underneath each item now. And I can now go to my in-store cart. These 5 items now appear in the cart. The problem is I only have an option to pick up from store on this page. So if you're going to pick up from store, this is a great contactless payment option. If you want to have your comic shipped to you, we need to work out a different program. So, that's where you have to get in touch with us. From here, though.
For the time being, email us and we'll get back to you.
Correct.
Because everyone's got separate situations.
Yep. And then, moving ahead to pay via credit card or PayPal is pretty straightforward from here. So that's that. I'm going to go back to shopping, which will bring me to my order history page. The next important thing on the order history page is what's on order. So what have you already asked us to order for you that hasn't yet come in? Everything here should have a yellow on order banner underneath it. And then you can see here it says what's the due date. Well, when are these things likely to come out? So if you're curious to know what's coming out each week, you have a date filter here that doesn't seem to appear in too many other places, but I can go here and say, okay, well, what is coming out next week? I can click there and I've got, 5 books coming next week. And this helps you kind of manage your budget a little bit, although maybe it's a little difficult to see what the dollar value of each of these things are. But I don't know if there's a way to.
I think if you click, I guess you just have to individually click into the details for the items.
Well, I'm going to go to the view all and see if I get a different view. I think you do have to go into the individual view to see like the eyeball. Charlie, just try that again from here.
And usually this displays stuff like things that have been solicited, so things that are up to like 3 months away-ish. Anything that's farther away than that is not going to show up on the website.
And don't get thrown off by the dates being, non-US type dates. So, all right, so 2 weeks from now, looks like a much larger group of books for me. And I can kind of get a sense as to how much each one of those is going to be by just clicking on the item. No, I can't. That's a bummer. There's other places where you can see what they cost, but it's not here right now. So that's disappointing. All right, so that's how you can see what's on order for you. You go back to the order history, and then you could slice and dice through all the usual ways as well, but the date is kind of the most important thing. Back to the order history page, and then down at the bottom you can kind of manage your subscription. It gives you kind of a full history of sorts of all the items that you've got, or you can switch over to subscriptions where it'll give you a drop-down list of all the different books that have had a subscription activity with them. And another important thing, if you see that you have something on order in the on order section or in the order, wherever you see it, and you don't want us to hold it for you anymore or pull it for you anymore, go to that item and click on the envelope icon and send us a message about that item and say, please remove from my account. I don't want this item anymore, and we will remove it for you. One of the challenges of ComicHub is the customer's not able to do that themselves. It has to be done on our side, but we're happy to do it whenever we get an email asking us to do so.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like usually that a lot of that stuff can also, I mean, I feel like usually we just sort of run on a honor code of don't be a jerk when it comes to like, oh, if you ordered this very specific thing that only you were going to buy that was super expensive, and we ordered it in assuming that you're going to pay for it, and then later you decide, oh, I can't afford it. If you just tell us like ahead of time, it's okay. So yeah, I think we're pretty understanding for the most part of people's circumstances for getting their books, but the whole comic book subscriber system sort of relies on a mutual trust that people come in and buy their books at some point.
Jake, I think that's it. I think we've covered it all, and it's 7:30.
Yeah,
so we did it in right about 1 hour.
I think that's pretty good.
We aspire to break this up into sub videos or perhaps produce separate videos covering the same content, so folks can get comfortable without having to watch a full hour. But
yeah.
But that's pretty much it, right? Like that's what the online ordering tools that we have to offer. I guess I did want to go back to the pre-order cart and say, the search bar is kind of useful in some cases. Like if I wanted to, there's a crossover for Joker War coming up, right? People have asked, like, how do I? Oh boy, didn't work.
And I find, because this is like a system that's constantly evolving, I find that sometimes if things don't load the right way, if I just reload the page or research again, it loads correctly the second time.
What I didn't notice is that I had it's remembering my last selection. So if I clear this selection and then try again, and this is where people do get very frustrated. Let's see, it's still filtered though. So I'm gonna try it again until these things go away. Actually, it wants me to unclick these things. Yeah, I've gotten into the play. Yeah, now that save playlist goes away, so I've cleared. I'm going to clear it again just to try and really clear the memory, and let's see if this works this time. Yeah, all filters deleted successfully. So now I can see all the Joker War tie-ins, crossovers. If you're interested, it's right here, right? And I want to say, this is a cardstock variant, so it shows up. But if I click the open to order variants and click go, will it show me more stuff? And DC doesn't really do the incentive variants, or they do?
I mean, as the last time I was the manager of Fantom a few years ago, DC tends to not do as many of the incentive variants. They do a lot more of the just like A cover, B cover sort of variants.
Yeah.
Marvel does a lot more of the like 1 in 25 variants, but DC does it too.
Yes. So if you see you get this all filters deleted successfully to know you've got a clean slate. What's the Marvel event that they've got going on right now? I'm blanking on it. You're blanking on it also.
I am a.
I'll say it's Empire.
Yeah, I'm my own Pullist since I've left Fantom. I haven't been reading a lot of
Marvel. Right, so it's Empire.
With the Y.
And then I'm going to go to view all, and open order variants are selected.
I like that. I like that Holt Gray style, the Thing cover.
The what?
That Empire #1 cover, the yellow cover with the Thing on it.
This one down here.
Yeah, because that's like homaging the Jeff Loeb Tim Sale, like Holt Gray covers, right? And like Daredevil yellow.
Let's see. Do we know who the cover artist is?
Who is the cover? No, Michael. Oh yeah, Michael. I mean, Michael Cho does a lot of covers in that style.
So, if I then click the incentive variants, let's see if we get some incentive variants also popping up.
Incentive variants are a lot more hit or miss. If you know enough about comics to know what incentive variants are, they can be they're hard to order. If you don't know incentive variants, those are the ones where it's like, oh, if we order 25 copies of the book, we'll get one copy with its alternate cover that's worth more money on the secondary market. And for us, those we really don't deal with a lot of those because we're really trying to cater to people that are just reading the comics. But if you are a collector as well and you want a specific variant, some of them will appear on here, some of them won't. Things change all the time, but really just email us ahead of time and we'll do our best to make sure if it's available through Diamond, we'll get it to you.
Yep. So, I mean,
if we can.
The important thing is that if you want to see the variants, you have to check these checkboxes when you're searching around in order to activate them so that when you click go, they appear.
And publishing info on the variants can change at like up to the last moment too. A lot of times with superhero comics, they'll announce the variants before announcing like what the cover is or who the artist is. And then at the last moment, they reveal it and people are scrambling to order it.
I think we covered everything. I don't think there's anything else to cover. I forget what's under.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's good. Let's end it here. Thanks to everybody for joining online, and I'm sure folks will get to watch it as it's available on Facebook, and we may actually put it on YouTube as well. So I'm going to